Imagine being on top of the world, fame, fortune, millions of fans, and still feeling like you're losing yourself. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly what happened to Johnny Depp. Yes, the Johnny Depp we all know from Pirates of the Caribbean and Edward Scissorhands. Despite his massive success, Johnny found himself at a crossroads, struggling to keep his identity intact in the whirlwind of Hollywood. Let's take a step back and really think about this. We all dream of fame, of being the center of attention, right? It seems like the ultimate goal, a life filled with luxury, power, and recognition. But what happens when that dream starts to take over everything else? That's exactly what happened to Johnny. Fame, with all its glittering promises, began to control him instead of the other way around. Johnny Depp, like many actors, didn't just want to be a movie star. He wanted to stand out, to be different. He wanted to play roles that were quirky, offbeat, and unique. Just like he was. And the world ate it up. The media adored him for his eccentricity, his unpredictable nature, and his dark, mysterious persona. But here's the kicker, Johnny wasn't just playing characters anymore. He was becoming them. You might think, isn't that what actors do? But imagine this, when you start to live your roles 24/7, when the line between who you really are and the character you're playing becomes blurred, it's easy to lose sight of your true self. That's exactly what happened to Johnny Depp. The man we saw on screen, the one who seemed so carefree and confident, wasn't the man he was behind closed doors. And that's when the problem started. As his fame grew, so did the pressure. Hollywood was demanding that Johnny stay the same, this cool, aloof figure. They wanted him to be the quirky, mysterious actor we all loved, but at what cost? Johnny, like so many stars before him, began to feel like he was trapped in a role he couldn't escape. It wasn't just about acting anymore, it was about constantly being on. His every move was scrutinized, his every word analyzed, and slowly, he started to forget who he really was underneath the fame. That's when things got heavy. The pressure of constantly being someone else started to wear on him. His personal life took a hit, his relationship suffered, and he began to spiral into a place of isolation. The weight of fame pushed him to the brink, and he found himself turning to substances just to cope. It was a dark time for him, and the further he drifted from his true self, the more he felt like he was losing control. But here's the thing, Johnny didn't give up. Instead of letting fame completely consume him, he did something a lot of us wouldn't expect. He stepped back. Johnny realized that he had to disconnect from everything, Hollywood, the constant pressure, and even his own expectations, if he wanted to find himself again. He took a break, got away from the noise, and began the process of rediscovering who he really was. No cameras, no lights, just Johnny. During this time, Johnny reflected. He reconnected with the simple things that mattered to him, his passions, his love for music, and the people who truly cared about him. And, slowly, he started to heal. He realized that his value wasn't in the roles he played or the persona he had created for the public. It was in who he was as a person, outside of all the fame and the flashing lights. Now, you might be wondering, what can we take away from Johnny Depp's journey? Well, let's break it down. For one, it's clear that fame can have a heavy cost. It can make you forget who you really are. But the key takeaway here is that it's never too late to find your way back. Johnny Depp teaches us that even when you're at the height of your success, it's okay to step away and take a breather. It's okay to prioritize your mental health, your well-being, and your sense of self. Fame doesn't define you, and neither does anyone else's expectations. Let's take a moment to really reflect on this. How many of us feel like we're constantly trying to be something we're not, just to please others? It could be at work, in relationships, or even on social media. We feel the pressure to be perfect, to keep up with everyone else. But Johnny's story shows us that true happiness and fulfillment come from being authentic, from embracing who we really are, flaws and all. And you don't have to be a famous actor to learn from this. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone trying to navigate life, we all face pressures. But it's important to recognize when those pressures start to take a toll on us. It's okay to hit pause, to step back, and take a breath. You don't have to have it all figured out, and you certainly don't have to live up to anyone else's standards. Another thing we can learn from Johnny is the importance of having a support system. Fame, it can be so isolating. Johnny admitted that the fame monster pushed him into a place of loneliness. But in his journey to find himself again, he surrounded himself with people who truly understood him. And that's what made all the difference. Whether it's friends, family, or even a mentor, having people who genuinely care about you can help you get through the toughest times. Now, let's talk about something that isn't often discussed in Hollywood: mental health. For Johnny, fame wasn't just about the perks or the success, it was also about the pressure. And that pressure can be incredibly damaging. Mental health struggles affect everyone, no matter how rich or famous you are. And in Johnny's case, the constant spotlight, the expectations, and the loss of himself to fame took a toll on his mental health. But by recognizing his struggles and taking time for himself, he was able to regain control over his life. We all have our own battles, right? Whether it's work stress, relationship issues, or just the general challenges of life, we all face moments when we feel overwhelmed. But like Johnny, we don't have to stay stuck in those dark places. We can always choose to step away, take time for ourselves, and come back stronger. It's all about being true to who we are and not letting the world define us. Johnny Depp also found comfort in rediscovering the things that brought him joy outside of acting. He embraced his love for music, his creative side, and even spent time with his kids. It's easy to get lost in the world of work and expectations, but sometimes, we need to take a step back and return to the things that make us happy, the things that ground us. It might be a hobby, a relationship, or simply spending time in nature. Whatever it is, those moments of connection and peace are what help us reconnect with ourselves. Through his struggles, Johnny also came to understand the importance of self-compassion. We're often our own harshest critics, and the pressure to succeed can make us believe we're not enough. But Johnny's story reminds us that it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. What's important is that we learn from them and keep moving forward. Self-compassion is key to finding peace, even in the most difficult times. It's about treating yourself with kindness, not judgment. Another lesson we can take from Johnny is about the unpredictability of life. Fame can be fleeting, and nothing is guaranteed. One minute, you're on top, and the next, you're faced with challenges that seem insurmountable. Johnny's journey teaches us that no matter what happens, it's important to stay grounded in who we are and to remain resilient in the face of adversity. But resilience doesn't mean that we don't experience pain or struggle. It doesn't mean that we have to put on a brave face all the time. In fact, part of being resilient is acknowledging our vulnerabilities and allowing ourselves to feel. Johnny went through a lot, and there were moments when he didn't have all the answers. But by giving himself space to reflect and heal, he came out stronger. And that's what resilience is all about, not bouncing back immediately, but gradually finding your way through the darkness. Johnny Depp's journey also reminds us that it's okay to ask for help. So many of us, especially in a world that values independence, are afraid to lean on others. But sometimes, reaching out for support is the best thing we can do. Whether it's a therapist, a friend, or a family member, asking for help shows strength, not weakness. Johnny's story is proof that seeking help when you need it is a powerful step toward healing. It's clear that fame, success, and constant attention can take a toll on anyone's mental health. And Johnny Depp's experience highlights just how important it is to stay true to yourself amidst the chaos. His journey teaches us that it's okay to step back, to take care of our mental health, and to prioritize what really matters, our happiness, our well-being, and our authenticity. As we wrap up, remember this: fame, success, or even just the everyday pressures of life can sometimes cloud who we really are. But it's never too late to reclaim our sense of self. Johnny Depp showed us that the key to finding peace isn't in the fame or the spotlight, it's in finding balance, taking time for ourselves, and staying true to our authentic selves. And maybe, just maybe, we can all learn from that lesson. So, what do you think? Can fame really strip away your identity? Have you ever felt like you were losing yourself to the expectations of others? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Stay true to yourself and remember, you're not alone in this journey.